Hello, hello, hello. You're tuning into another episode of The Wunderkind Show. Today's first topic, Ja Morant. Look, we had talked about this before. We had touched on it previously. And we had, touched on a couple things that needed to be regarding, you know what I'm saying, some of the reckless things he was doing, right? But the reason why we're talking about him today is because he came up again. Because, of course, the media is not going to let this thing kind of settle. They're going to keep it in rotation because negativity in their minds sells. And it keeps people strongly engaged because, you know, that's how they do business. So you had people like Shannon Sharpe invoking, him and Mad Dog, saying he should be suspended multiple games, times the tens. And somebody named JJ Redick came out and kind of went at that theory, which I've went at that theory before on here. And he said, why are you going to try to suspend or arrest a 23-year-old basketball player who has broken no laws in a state that is open carry, with a politician that represents that state taking pictures with numerous weapons, and his kids also young having weapons? So this is why, I like all things equal type conversations, because I don't feel like this one is. And here's what I'm saying. Do I disagree with what Ja Morant is doing? Yes. I think it's foolhardy. I think it's irresponsible. And as much as he hates it, he is a role model for younger children. His fans, the ones that help fatten his pockets to get their parents to buy his jerseys, to go watch him play basketball, to tune into all the games or whatever else merchandise that might have his name flashed on it, like shoes. But that's neither here nor there. My problem with this is that everybody wants to crucify him. They want him in jail. You heard someone like Aiden Ross, I believe he's an internet personality, screaming to lock this thug up and put him in jail. And other ones saying he should be suspended for 40 games. Like I said, I disagree with what Ja did. I do. I think he has to grow up some. He's young, acting out brashly. He's a young guy that's been given a lot of money. It happens. But here's my problem with everybody, including the league, taking this staunch, over-the-line perception when it comes to Ja Morant. Because there's even NFL analysts that have spoken on it, right? And I'm going to put a nail, or at least a hole, in all of the balloons that they've been blowing up with all their hate. So, Shannon Sharpe has been a proponent of the NFL for years. He's played. He's a Hall of Famer. Decorated career, 3-time Super Bowl champion, one of the greatest tight ends to ever live. He actually was he's probably a top 4 greatest receiving tight ends to ever live. Top 50 greatest players ever to live, most likely. And he took a very staunch, thing when it came to Ja. And I get why. Some of it I get why. Because of his representation of, let's be real, the black community. But here's why I have a problem with any NFL people like Shannon Sharpe going at him the way that they're going at him. Because mind you, I'm not making an excuse for Ja. Do I believe he should be suspended a couple games or 10 games or whatever else? Yeah. But 40 games, half a season, or then you saying he should be in jail, you know what I mean? I think that's foolhardy. And I'm going to tell you why. We have heard so many times, everybody that covers these teams, all the people that believe in the establishment over the players, You know what I'm talking about, right? The ones that make the CBAs for the NFL and the NBA. You're going to love where I'm going with this one. Do you notice, right? Even though each one of them are condemning Ja Morant, bad Durant, bad Morant, bad. How dare you do that, right? None of them would put in writing or rules or discrepancy against his action in any of the rules in which they make. Do you want to know why? You want to know why? And this is my problem with the whole establishment coming after him the way that they are. The NFL and the NBA know for a fact that a large constituent of its supporters believe and own guns. They're proud gun owners. Mind you, I'm located in Florida. My father owns card wheels. He was 16. He's a permit, the whole nine. So I believe in protecting your home and having the proper tools to protect your home. But they know that a large portion of the people that pay to go to those games, pay for those courtside seats, even some of the politicians that make rules that benefit them are gun owners. So just like how the media will get on players saying, well, you didn't fight for this in the CBA. You guys got to do a better job. Well, then how dare the NBA or even the NFL to go at them for something that's not in your rule book? It's not there. And they're not going to do it because a large portion of the people that support them have weapons. And they have it proudly. Proudly. They take pictures with them on Christmas. They got AR-15s, missile launchers, rocket launchers, the 8 missile launchers. Y'all ever watch War Machine? They got the whole armor in their backyard. But you won't hear them say anything. And isn't it funny that the media won't bring that up? No. See, now it's to the players being like, if you want it so bad, make rules taking away our Second Amendment right. Say that we can't have guns, even if we're not on the property or premises of the NBA or NFL. Say we cannot take pictures with weapons that we are obligated to have in an open carry state. This is the slippery slope that the NBA and the NFL refuse to slide down. But they're quick to make an example of one person. The media is quick to make an example of one person. And this goes back to what I was telling y'all yesterday about the coverage. Because, look, let's be real, right? We know it's like, hey, you're in a car, you're bumping NBA YoungBoy. Perception becomes reality. So because of the violence that is happening throughout the United States with mass shootings, the problem that they're having in Chicago and other things like that, it brings up a certain animosity watching a multi-millionaire flaunt on IG. That's what this is. And once again, I want to reiterate it. I do not agree with what he did. The problem is he broke no laws. And there's no rules in the NBA code or code of conduct or the NFL code of conduct that is against you using or having or flaunting or using your Second Amendment rights. And they won't make none because they know that they will have pushback from people where they get the money from. Politicians that line their pockets with the moolah, the dinero, the yen. But they don't mind making an example out of one person. See, that's my problem. And this correlates to what I was saying yesterday about the perceived narratives that the media perpetuates for the viewing masses. You have to get to a point. We have to get to a point to where right is right, wrong is wrong. And there's nothing else needed on top of it. That's being real. If you find or have a problem with that, then the problem is not me. The problem is you. Because truth is enough. You don't need more than truth. You don't. You can make, out of one truth, you can make comedy, you can make facts, you can make news just off the plain truth. You don't have to add any more to it. You don't have to pick who the villains are or the heroes are. That will sort itself out in due time, because money does not change people. It accentuates their bad habits. You understand? That's real talk. Money doesn't change anybody. If you were a mean person before money, you're going to be an even more meaner person when you get money. If you were a giving person before you had money, you're going to overly give when you have money. If you were a selfish person before money, well then selfishness will be aggregated times 10. That's how this works. So you going out there and picking who's going to be heroes and villains instead of just covering the news as is laughable to me. And the over declaration of hate towards a Ja Morant, mind you, context is needed, and context a lot of times is negated because most of the things that we do on social media, right? 100 and whatever characters, it's hard to convey context in 180 characters. I got a blue check that I pay for on Twitter. I know some people make fun of me about it, but what it does is it allows me to add more characters. It allows me to put out my stuff more, longer videos. It helps out with the product of content that I put out for you guys. If it didn't, I wouldn't have one. Who cares? Right? But that's what we're at right now. You understand where I'm coming from? Listen. Hey. Adam Silver, the NBA commissioner, could easily, because the CBA is coming up, could easily put in a rule that NBA players should not be seen or videoing themselves with firearms. But they won't do it. Do you know why? Because it would rile up some people in Washington, or even rile up some people in the state in which the team resides. And then they might cut support, which cut support means cutting of dollars, cutting of funds, cutting of savings. And we all know what makes this world go around and round. Money, make the world go round. And everybody knows that. So if you know that, and you're holding the players, remember, all the stuff that NFL players argue about, they do certain stuff to running backs, or NBA players, they do certain stuff to us. You know what they always say? Fight it in the next CBA. The NBA and the NFL and all these professional sports already knew about America's gun culture. It's rampant. It's everywhere. You have politicians sending out Christmas cards with entire families. That's the father, the mother, the son, the daughter, and the little child that's about 4 or 5 years old, holding guns as big as them. What's that 150 Cent line? We got guns the size of little Bow Wow. That's what the politicians are taking the pictures with children. And you say nothing. And they're the ones that institute the rules in which we abide. You say nothing. School shooting, you say nothing. You're quiet. You're mum. But let somebody show a gun on IG in an open carry state. I will repeat this again. In open carry state. He's a thug. He needs to be in jail. Lock him up. Take away everything from him. He doesn't deserve to be in the NBA. Doesn't seem a little hypocritical to you? Should there be some time? Yes, there should be. He needs to learn that. Listen, I always tell people perception becomes reality. That's why I take my name and my image so seriously. Because disparaging comments, lies, can ruin everything that you've cultivated or taken time to try to cultivate, even if they are lies. It's finished. It's an image is literally a glass house. That's the perfect way I can put it. It's literally a glass house. You know what glass does? It's a refraction of light. You like how I did that? Yes. Refracts light, warps light, bends it, even allow it to separate into spectrums of color. But you know what a glass house is? It's easily broken, as beautiful as it is. Because there's a lot of light that shines on stars. And the light refracts all over the place. It shines on the crowd. It shines over their parents. It shines on their childhood basketball places. All those things. Their old AAU teams. Look up how many people have eaten off the story of LeBron. His former high school buddies. The schools that wanted him that didn't get him. The high school that he attended. See what I'm trying to say? I just don't like hypocrites. And it needs to be stated. It needs to be talked about. Because what they're delving into is hypocrisy. You can disagree with somebody all you want. You can make all the reasons just like I do. I disagree with what he did. But to try to condemn them to the point of, saying that maybe they need to be locked up for a while. Maybe they need to go to a mental institution for a while. Maybe they need to go to a rehab center for a while. When this is literally somebody just being young, immature, and dumb. What's that old Young and Dumb? That song? Young and Dumb. Young and Dumb. And when he gets older, I'm telling y'all, when he gets older, he's going to say, man, I was so foolish when I was a kid. Sometimes riding around, with that stick on me. There was no reason for it. It just added. When you get older, you understand that, you put away childish things. Put away childish things. I need more people that listen to, that are putting out, even for this video, to look in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Think about what you were doing, how you were acting at 22, 23 years old. And everybody's saying, oh, I wasn't doing much. Think about all the shoplifting you got away with, that your friends might have peer pressured you in. Think about all the sneaking out that you got away with. The alcohol, the drugs, maybe carrying a gun, holding a gun for somebody when you know you're not supposed to. Fighting, jumping people, being conniving, setting people up. And anybody saying that doesn't sound real, sounds like a show, you have not been to high school. Stop acting. I don't care how conservative, how liberal the high school, they're doing all that stuff. And think about it. Just think. Now imagine if someone that every mistake that you made at 22, 23, 21, 20, 19, 18 was for the world to see. This is why I highlight how an amazing job LeBron James has been. Forget what he does on the court. He's top 3 greatest of all time on the court, but off the court, no scandals, no cheating, Family Guy. Children are becoming, look like they're going to become NBA stars. Daughter's healthy, safe, beautiful little girl. Beautiful wife, my God. So when you take everything into its whole, you're like, my God, nothing. The worst thing he did was the decision. That's why I say LeBron deserves flowers. Not for the basketball, because to me, Michael Jordan will always be the greatest of all time. He's the greatest finals performer of all time. He's the greatest regular season player of all time. And he has the rings to prove it. The MVPs, the rings, the scoring titles, the steals titles, the everything. But off the court, my God, There was no I'm young and I'm done phases with this young man. For LeBron's not young, he's older than me. There was no phases for that for LeBron. It was just, look, business. I know people are watching me, and I don't want that energy. Ja has to learn that the world has their eye on him. He's under a microscope. And whatever fun that your friends, that you think, oh, you guys are allowed to have fun, in 2-3 years, it's not going to be considered fun. It's not. Those same friends are going to start settling down, getting married, having kids. Some might have multiple kids, try to start businesses. And everything changes after that. Everything. That's what, if Ja was watching, this, what I would want him to see. I was like, look, man, what you're doing is foolish. It's not worth the energy that you're putting out there. If some people like to call it energy. The signs that you're putting out there, like Mr. Tough Guy. Let me tell you something, there's always somebody tougher. Always somebody tougher. Always somebody better. There's always somebody bigger. And you don't want to be putting out that mantra, that persona for everybody to see. And that's what I would tell him. I hope for him the best. I hope the best for him. I hope he becomes a great. He's already a good NBA player. Becomes an all-time great. I hope he makes every dollar he can make. I hope he makes generational wealth. I hope he has a wonderful legacy. I hope he has healthy children. I hope he has a long-lasting marriage. That's what I wish for him. That's what you should wish for him. If he was watching this, I would tell him, you wouldn't want your son doing what you're doing right now. And that should be all you need to say. If you have a child and you would look at the child like, bro, what are you doing? And you would be mad at them doing what you're doing right now, then what you're doing is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. So just like we're hoping Ja Morant can grow up and become more mature in his decisions and his portrayal and his image, some people that are trying to hold him responsible for every gun charge in America needs to grow up too. Maturity, people. Maturity. And if you don't like it, put it in the CBA. Hopefully it holds up. But that's another episode of The Wunderkind Show! Thank you all for watching. You already know we have fun and laughs over here, but it's rooted in what? Facts and truth. So if you're not already done so, please do remember, like, subscribe to that notification bell, and leave a comment. I do love the comments. Just be respectful. You know what I mean? And we got no problems. And if you would like to donate to this channel, at the bottom of the screen is a QR code to a Cash App. Cash App is located in the description of every video that we do. And the name of it is $The Wunderkind Show. Also available now is the Patreon, also for The Wunderkind Show. Access to the Discord, access to questions from subscribers, access to sweepstakes for merch, access to fantasy football for next season. It is a blast. So if you want to join a different type of flock, the Wunderkind flock, Team Wunderkind, then go out there and become a patron and support. All right? But once again, this is The Wunderkind Show. The show is Nitro signing off. And as always, you guys know my slogan. Peace. And I am out of here. Yerp.